So with the recent revelations about Luffy's Devil Fruit in the previous chapter, I think it's time we talk about the lore aspects of Devil Fruits, and this will obviously tie into why Luffy's Devil Fruit is special. So in One Piece chapter 1017, we learned quite a few bit of new information pertaining to Luffy's Devil Fruit. Now beforehand, we didn't really know a lot of how it was obtained. We only knew that Shanks obtained the fruit from the enemy. And again, at that point in time, there wasn't any emphasis about Luffy's fruit being special. I think for the most part, we didn't view Luffy's Devil Fruit as being special from a base standpoint. His fruit is in the lower tier in comparison to some Paramecias and Logias we've seen in the entire series. It's only because of Luffy's creativity, and that is why it is as strong as it is. But this chapter changes that to some extent because we learned from Who's Who at that point in time was a CP9 member, and he was ordered to guard the Gomu Gomu no Mi as it was being transported by a government ship. Now, Devil Fruits are a pretty rare thing in the One Piece world. There might be a lot of them, but in terms of actually finding one, it's pretty difficult. So it's no surprise that if the world government were to find any fruit, it would be something that they would protect, especially if they know the abilities of what said Devil Fruit grants. So there is a possibility that this is just normal procedure that the world government does anytime that they find a Devil Fruit. So in essence, Luffy's fruit might not necessarily be special. It's just that every time the world government finds a Devil Fruit, they try to secure said fruit. But context matters here because there's a huge emphasis on Luffy's Devil Fruit. There's a lot of things that point towards it being very special. Now before we keep going, I would appreciate it if you drop the like and subscribe if you're new here. Now the first and easily most interesting thing is that Shanks was the person who stole the fruit in the first place. So far in the story, we know that Shanks has some ties to the world government, but as to what role he plays with these guys, we're still unsure. But I don't think it would be far-fetched to think that Shanks had some sort of intel as to why this fruit is special via his connection with the world government, and that this wasn't just a one-off thing that happened, but more so of a targeted attack on that specific government ship. And usually attacking government ships isn't really the norm for pirates, because the government would just send more marines your way and it would become an annoyance to deal with. Even Whitebeard avoids getting in trouble with the marines from time to time. But in this situation, Shanks deemed it worthy to get on the ship and steal a Devil Fruit. And it's very interesting knowing that Shanks comes from a crew that we know so far are all non-Devil Fruit users. So this wasn't an ability someone from his crew was going to eat. It was most likely taken as a potentially bargaining chip because perhaps he knows about why this fruit is special in particular. And maybe this is setting up the idea of how Shanks' connection to the world government came to be. Maybe things like this, like trading fruits with the government, or maybe knowing key information about certain things is the reason why he can just stroll into Marijoa with no issues. It's definitely interesting, but it definitely sets a tone about Luffy's fruit being very special. The other thing that we have to take into account is that based on what Who's Who said, this Devil Fruit was to be guarded as it was being transported, and to be guarded by someone who possessed talent equal to that of Rob Bellucci, who was stated to be the most talented CP9 agent in history. So they obviously put a priority on this Devil Fruit because the government knows how important it is. And now you might ask, how do they know why this fruit is important? Now it could be things like it has some sort of latent potential that other Devil Fruits don't have. It could be some special trait that allows it to play a role in something that the world government wants to do, or it could even be that this was Joy Boy's Devil Fruit and anyone who eats it obtains some sort of influence from its past users. And this is actually a topic for another video in which I'm going to be talking about the cycle of reanimation for Devil Fruits and how that plays a role into the inherited will, as Devil Fruits are also things that can never disappear and are things that are passed down from one person to another. And we also know that Devil Fruits and Haki or ambition are tied. But again, you have so many things that could make Luffy's Devil Fruit special. But I think the most important piece of information one can have is what role that Luffy's fruit may have played in past storylines. It goes into the lore of Devil Fruits. I think Oda has created a very unique world in which Devil Fruits, the power system of the world, enhances the world even more. And this is why we love lore so much in One Piece, and why when chapters have lore, it's usually the best chapters, right? So with Devil Fruits, certain Devil Fruits have names or monikers attached to them, and this is because of things that happened in the past. As these things happened, these fruits gained a reputation amongst the people people, and people who know about these specific events that happened in the past, they can use that information to their advantage. Logias are regarded as the strongest devil fruits, not only because of the ability to manipulate natural elements, but also because in history, people who had these abilities were the strongest. For example, there's 3 devil fruits that have specific descriptions attached to them, and these fruits are the darkness fruit, the Opi Opi no Mi, and the Guru Guru no Mi. There might be more, but these are the only ones that we know of as of right now. Now, when it comes to Blackbeard's fruit, there is a description that has been attached to it throughout history, and that is that the darkness fruit has a nature of being evil or the most dangerous, which is a weird description to give a devil fruit because a fruit's ability is mainly dependent on the user. So essentially what I got from this is that people who had Blackbeard's fruit in some way, shape, or form were evil or were dangerous individuals, hence why it has that reputation. Blackbeard seems to be following that same scheme as well. Same with Whitebeard. Sengoku referenced him as someone who has the power to destroy the world, and that's based not only on the present but also in the past. Previous holders of this fruit may have shown the ability to destroy the world, and when Odin said that there was going to be a war that would split the ocean, I think that was meant to be taken in a literal sense as well. Blackbeard's Guru Guru no Mi will definitely play a role there. And obviously we have Law's devil fruit. Again, history is always brought up, and with Law's fruit, it was stated that previously in history, the person that ate this fruit became someone who cured many illnesses with miracle operations, and this individual went on to become a legend. And so you have history being brought up here again, in which a fruit's ability has played a role in past storylines. And Law's fruit is also called the ultimate devil fruit by some. And it's very interesting because when Diaz Barrow obtained the fruit, his crew didn't actually know why the world government was willing to pay that much, and they deemed it worthless, right? When in reality, it had a role in history, and the government was aware of this role, and even Doflamingo himself, as Doflamingo stated that the Opi Opi no Mi plays a role into obtaining the national treasure of Marijoa. So some devil fruits go beyond even what they were originally intended to be used for, and Luffy's devil fruit might be one of those fruits, whereas perhaps maybe the elasticity aspect of his fruit plays a role into something that we're not aware of yet. The fact that the world government needed it to be guarded means that they know something about it. The possibility of it having played some sort of role in history might be possible, but right now I'm sort of leaning towards it having some sort of awakening that is very powerful and is unique and can be used in ways that the world government see fit. Or it could also be Joy Boy's devil fruit, and maybe they want to keep Joy Boy's fruit as a sort of relic, just like they had that straw hat in Marijoa. There could be something more going on there. But again, there is a possibility that there's nothing to it, and the information that we're getting here is just to make the world feel more alive and grounded and fill in gaps. But having Shanks, having the world government be involved with the Gomu Gomu no Mi puts a special emphasis on the fruit, which makes me think that there might be more to Luffy's fruit than what we currently know. And these other players already know what it is, which is why there is a focus on that fruit. But I'm definitely looking forward to where Oda is taking this. I think Oda could be setting up some sort of power up for Luffy once he returns, because we do know that Luffy has probably gone through some major transformation after his defeat by Kaido. So when he returns, we're going to see a new Luffy with new powers, and this information that we're getting with the Gomu Gomu no Mi here might be essential in understanding how he got those powers. So definitely interesting stuff for sure. But that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Comment down below what you guys think about Luffy's fruit being potentially special. Is it an awakening? Is it because this is a fruit that Joy Boy had, or is there more to it? I would appreciate it if you guys dropped a like on this video, subscribe for more One Piece content on this channel. You can follow me on Twitter at Pharaohspace. But it is Pharaoh, guys, and I will see you folks later. Peace.